What's going on, everybody? It's Joe at Swing This Kettlebell and Strength, and I wanted to bring to your attention this morning some things that I have felt made a huge benefit in my training and injury prevention. This book right there was the very first book after I injured my shoulder back in 2004 that I got in about 2005 that demonstrated what I have used to heal and kind of fix issues. Basically, it's trigger point therapy workbook. So this is a very, very long, I've had it for a long time. You can see it's been indexed and used for a long time, but this is definitely something that you should invest $20 in just to get a little bit. We use our tissue so much, we move our body so much, especially if you're training. This is an absolute, I'd say, surgery saver for me and a lot of stuff, and it brought me into a lot of other types of things. There wasn't a lot of stuff like this back talked about in lifting, or I wasn't even into kettlebells back then, but bodybuilding, whatever, and it's something I've always used and recommended to clients. So trigger point therapy workbook, stuff like this by Claire Davies. There's a lot of stuff by citations to Travell and Simons, and a bunch of awesome stuff on muscle health. So grab that. Think about this. Having a book like this and more focal things on, this is huge. This is basically your whole body. But having more focal stuff and using these books are kind of like having a instruction manual. You're going to use your body all the time. You got to know, having a lot of knowledge about anatomy to keep yourself from getting injured. So you can go in other ways. If you're working into powerlifting and almost anything, Stuart McGill stuff is wonderful. Talk about performance and all sorts of stuff. A lot of stuff on basically powerlifting and other stuff. Anyway, so now here is one of my absolute favorite for everyone. So if you can tell in this, it's just a lot of drawings and stuff like that. There's some quad stuff, but why do I recommend this one? So I started, there's new age foam rollers and stuff. This is a great one, the rumbleroller gator. But here is why I don't go anywhere without the tuneup fitness alphaball. Okay, the size, you can see it's about a little bit smaller than a softball, but it's not so dense that it's gonna possibly harm tissue. But read this book by Jill Miller, The Role Model. Okay, so this makes it a lot easier for a person that doesn't have a crazy amount of anatomy to follow. So you can go in here and you can work it. They're basically sequences to take care of your tissue as you're training, pre and post work, off days, warm-ups. Your whole body. Like, it's got cases, studies, and all sorts of stuff. Focus on breath. How important is that? Come on. Different ways to use these tissues. When I started with this book, all I had was a racquetball and lacrosse ball, and it worked. But those were meant for racquetball and lacrosse. These are focal. It just rolled away. I guess that's why they call it roller, right? But these are made for therapy, made for self-massage. Now, I really recommend, let me see, show my face. I really highly recommend that you work with a professional, okay? So work with a massage therapist, work with chiropractors, any manual therapist. Now, they can show you how to use some of this stuff, okay? So once they do, then it's your job to keep up with it. Not everybody can afford to go to a massage therapist once a week, once a month. Not everybody can. But you can do a lot of this stuff at home. But when we see people that are doing it without any knowledge of what it can be doing for them, that's when you can possibly be doing stuff that's not beneficial for yourself. So get a little bit of knowledge here. You have a lot of knowledge of this. And then we can put it together with stuff like this and working with professionals and some of these tools. We're going to have a whole page of which tools we recommend. I have tried almost everything out there, and there's new stuff every week. But the thing is, I'm so happy about this book, The Role Model, for the general public. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. Easy, great illustrations, really easy to understand anatomy for the general person. So, before you go out and start kicking the crap out of your body, training, starting a new kettlebell training session or a new CrossFit gym or something, if you haven't done anything in a long time or maybe never before, think about these books as possibly being your instruction manual for your body, okay? So we all know that we should be reading instruction manuals before we use the tools, but the more you understand, the safer you're going to be, the longer you'll be able to train, and more effectively you'll be able to recover. So anyway, Joe, Swing This Kettlebell Strength, out.